Morning. Hope you're well. So, a couple of days since the last one, bit of a recap. So we've got the header, everything back here at home. Everything's sort of not cleaned out, but with grains back in silos and that, I've taken the last of the wheat to town yesterday. So the mother bin's empty, so it can come home again. Brendan's down cutting hay. Look, we've sort of made the decision, unless someone rings us, we're sort of not going to go and chase any more contract header work. So we've probably got enough. Given we're only a fortnight off Christmas, we've got enough to do. We are 10th of December. So we sort of spraying. We've got a fair bit of stubble spraying to do. We're going to start and cut some loosened hay of our own. Brendan's down contract cutting today, so he's got about 40 hectares down there to do, 40-50 hectares. I'm just here, we just put the mower on the Magnum. I'm just going to take the GPS out of the header and chuck it in the Magnum in a minute. We've got the 828 Fendt on the boom spray. Now the starter motor has packed up on it, so we've got it in town, it's ready to pick up. I don't know what the go was with it, but they pulled it apart and given it a clean and telling me it's okay. So we'll go and get that shortly, or I might get Sarah to grab it after her work, if she knocks off work. Had a chemical delivery, so we've got out a chemical here for summer spraying. Tony's just running around spraying a few channels while we've haven't got any water in anything. Just to tidy up a few burrs and that sort of thing. So I've got Josh here with the SP. I've got the drone here. I might chuck it up. We're just putting the corn's really gone nuts. So it was too tall to do with the trailing sprayer. So Josh has got a case Patriot sprayer. So I'll chuck the drone up and we'll get a look at him going in a minute. So plan is cut hay. We're going to cut the pivot here at home, and then we're also going to cut some dry land with the windrower. So the plan is with that we'll put, we can move the decks on the windrower on the front across. So I'm going to slide one deck across and we'll put 235 rows side by side, and then once they dry we'll just flip them together in front of the baler. It'll just save a bit of raking, and it'll be it'll take the third of the times what it would with the mower conditioner, although it's not going to be conditioned. It's going to get hot, like they're talking 40 degrees by the weekend. We're Tuesday. So we'll end up cutting sort of 80 or 90 hectares of our own loosened hay as well, and we actually haven't done any hay. So that's sort of a bit of the reason why I've decided not to do any more header work. We'll do this hay, and look, we'll probably advertise the hay to sell it, because we do have plenty of hay on hand. That income will cancel out any contract header work we can do. And look, we've got a heap of spraying in front of us, as well as just spot spraying burrs and that sort of stuff. And then also there's sheep work to do. There's lambs to drench and backlining and everything else. So there's plenty to do, probably without going header contracting, which ties two blokes up, because we've got the front of the chaser bin as well. So anyway, we'll throw the drone up and get a look at Josh. So we're down here. So we've got a bit of purple flower, pretty purple flower. So there's going to be a bit here. I'll probably cut some on that side too. Although there's 150 lambs running around in there. They're sort of only skirting around the outsides anyway. Just walking the pivot round to get it in a bit closer to the centre fence so we can cut to it. But yeah, you can see it's pretty similar on both sides here. So we'll cut the lot. Yeah. I haven't bothered putting the GPS in the tractor. I just thought we'd just wait and see, just in case someone did ring, want some header work or something done. But look, I'm not, as I said, not going to go and chase any. So, but yeah, stands loosened, been planted in 2019, and look, it is starting to thin out a little bit. But for what we're doing with the lambs, it's probably still not too bad. Like if you had it purely for hay production, you'd probably pull it out and start again, or crop it for a couple of years. But it's, yeah, for what we're doing, it's still probably good enough. We didn't actually put any fertiliser on it this year, which we probably should have. Probably something we could possibly even do now. Yeah, just between waters. So we'll just see what happens. As far as lambs, I just had a stock agent on the phone, so we may sell the rest of these lambs of our own out of the road. The market, just put them in the market. The job is pretty good at the moment. And then yeah, we just purely have the trade lambs then. So yeah, anyway. But no, get this round and we'll get into it. Just waiting. I've sent Sarah a message. She's going to pick hopefully he's going to pick the starter motor up off the fence for me, and whether I get Tony to hop on this for a bit and while I put it back together, or yeah, it's a bit of a, it's in a bugger of a spot. I'd hate to, I don't know why. Same thing, engineers, be better. Anyway, but we're about where we need to be here, so we'll shut this thing off. Alright, we've been making pretty good progress. We've got sort of half one side done nearly. But what has happened is, yeah, we've had a skid wear out. So it's got a skin on it. It's just the skin's buggered. So I'll unbolt the skin, but it'll need a new skin at some stage. I know the one on the other side's pretty badly worn as well. So there's just 4 bolts across the back there. So I'll grab a rattle gun or something and buzz them off. Because yeah, you can see it's digging in, but it's not not ideal. That's alright, it won't take long to get that off. We'll keep trucking. It's quite good through here. There's a bit of a depression, so yeah, we're just back in gear, but we're doing around that 10 to 12 kilometres an hour. It's been going pretty well, cutting it up and back. That's the beauty of the Hydra swing mowers. They're pretty common now with the pull in the middle of the mower, and you can swing it from side to side. So I don't think there's probably a good half an hour left here. I don't think I'm going to get it. I've got to go to a meeting. So yeah, but anyway, it'll still be here tomorrow. I think Sarah's picked up the starter motor for the big tractor, so we'll put it back on in the morning. I might get Tony set up to do some spraying for us. Just start to get some of these stubbles done. A couple of rattles here that are a bit annoying, and the paddock is reasonably rough. What else? Yeah, I haven't heard from Brendan. I don't know how he's getting on with cutting hay. But yeah, it's all sort of been going pretty well. I might run a couple of things, a couple of the old sheds out the other farm. The tin's starting to come loose on it. A hay shed, and there's an old sort of, it is a lock-up shed. It's got 4 walls and doors either end of it. The tin's sort of coming off it a bit, so it's sort of timber battens. So the old roofing nails are slowly working their way loose. So I did get a box of wood screws the other day, wood tech screws, to screw the tin back on. There's also, we're sort of probably missing a few sheets off the roof. So in the morning when I want to go out and drench, just bear with me a minute. Just 2 hands. Lock that remote in and it just swings back around the other way behind me. One of the lambs that we bought, some of the lambs we bought haven't had a worm drench, so I want to try and do them in the morning, and then the paddock are loose and they're on, we'll take the windrow out and cut it. So I want to drench them in the first thing, but I'm going to take the ladder out with me and just measure up some tin and order some new sheets of tin and possibly some purlins, or get some timber battens just to fix these roofs up before they all blow away. So yeah, it's just one of those jobs we've been putting off, and the hay shed out there's, we'll put the loosened hay in it, so I sort of want to keep the weather off it if we can. So it's missing 2 or 3 sheets of tin off the roof. So and I do know there is one of the timber purlins in the roof is actually split, so might be a case of well, we'll do it anyway, but take the telehandler out and yeah, replace these couple of purlins, and whether we put some steel ones in, I'll just see. Put back another gear, yeah. Whether we replace them with steel and then they'll be right then, but yeah, they're going to go to rack and ruin if we don't start to do something with them. Morning, so next day, still got hay to cut. Just come down. Believe it or not, we're going to start and water the corn again after our 100 mil. So got a hot weekend coming up. They're talking tops of 40 degrees Celsius and better. So we'll just thought we'd get in and give it all a drink now. So the plan is, after Miranda was here yesterday, and I must get the camera out and get her. We had a good yarn yesterday. I'm like, we should have had the camera, but anyway, because we were talking about nutrients and that sort of stuff. And here under the pivot where we banded the fertiliser as opposed to spread it, yeah, it's quite interesting, the growth stage of the plant. So I'm just going to set the water up here now. It'll start this morning, sort of 8:45, so there is a bit of water here in the channel, and I'm going to go down and start the recycle pump because there is water down in it. So the first bay will start in water pretty well, in the next couple of hours. So yeah, and then going to go out and run mob of lambs in out the back that we bought and give them a drench. So yeah, it's pretty cool still. Oh, not cool, but it's nice cool morning. So won't only take an hour to drench those lambs. I'm going to get Lexi, her eldest daughter, she's finished school, so I'm going to get her to come out and give me a hand just to open gates and that sort of stuff. It'll just speed the job up a little bit. Morning. We've skipped forward a day from when this one started, so bit of stuff yesterday, and I've actually forgot to take the camera with me, so that doesn't help. So we are still cutting hay. Brendan's been down contract cutting as well. I think he's raking this morning, and yeah, Tony's been here just filling in. He just started filling in the channels over at our new block, just with the little grader blade on the back of the tractor. It's a bit slow, but yeah, it's going alright. It's not doing a bad job. What else are we doing? So yeah, watering the corn. I'm just up here now. I'm just going to shift the timers. And we drenched Lexi and I. Lexi, our eldest daughter, she has finished school. So I got her out yesterday giving me a hand to, yeah, drench these lambs. So just, yeah, pushing up. It didn't take long. We put I don't know whether I mentioned it in other videos, we put the big fan, the 828 on the boom spray, just because we had the Magnums on the mower, and we'll put it on the baler and that sort of stuff. And the Magnum it's usually the boom spray tractor, but it's been on the Chaserman and that. But we had a bit of trouble getting the GPS to talk, so we had auto shut off. So I had a bit of mucking around with that in the morning. Oh, yesterday morning, sorry. I'm getting that sorted. So it was 11 o'clock before we sort of got out to drench these lambs. Wasn't too bad. There was a bit of breeze. I think I did mention it is Gonna warm up in a few days' time. Yeah, so, but corn is loving life. It's really starting to get going. You can still see the lower rows, but they are catching up. So, yeah, we did, which you saw, we had, yeah, we put the nutrient spray on it. So I'm actually going to start the pivot, whether I do it now and start and water that other corn. So just in preparation for this hot day that's coming. So we'll get these shifted and I'll start the recycle pump. And then, yeah, we might start the pivot while we're here. If you're a newbie to the channel, yeah, we're growing corn and we usually grow a bit of rice in the summertime, but go back, I don't know, 8 or 10 videos, probably more, and you'll find out why we're not growing rice this year. But anyway, so if you haven't seen these things before, they're a timer. So it's got a little electric actuator. Oh, where is it? In there. That's it there, and a battery, and then we can just, it doesn't actually work off a clock, it's just you set, you know, it's going to open in, we want it to open in 5 hours, 5.5 hours, and then it'll run for 5.5 hours. So yeah, it just opens and closes the outlets. That little arm drops down, and yeah, it just saves getting up in the middle of the night. Yeah, so now it's up 7:30, so I don't need to come back here till 6:30 tonight. So yeah, and then I'll set it up again. We've got 3 bays left, so we'll just see how it works out. We might do one, depends how much water we've got in the dam. These are probably running over pretty quick. I've got them set for 5.5 hours, so we might even come and check it later and see how they're going. We might cut them back to 5 with the recycle pump going. We've got a fair bit we've got 8 megs of water coming from the outlet, and then that pump will pump another sort of 5. Yeah, so 5.5 is probably plenty, so we're not haven't got water running out the end of the bay. And then yeah, tonight I'll back. The pivot uses about 5.5 megs a day, and the dam's full now, so I'll start it so it's empty this afternoon, or I'm empty-ish, and yeah, then I'll back the flow back to sort of 5.5 megs or thereabouts, so we haven't got too much water, and we can actually bring water back around from the recycle dam. I'll just show you that one. I stepped over it, and so when the arm's open, it's down like that, and you can see the actuator there, and then it'll come back up again. So I think new ones of these are about $4,000, but we're a bit short. We've only got the 3 of them, so with the 2 blocks of corn we battle. You sort of can't really do 2 blocks at once, so we need to buy a couple more of them. So anyway, money, but corn's looking good, got a good colour about it. We need to get on and spray these burrs along here. I'm going to put the boom on the buggy, little boom, and run up and down here and just spray these burrs. You wonder where they come from, because they weren't there last year. Yeah, anyway. So plan is, yeah, I'll start this irrigator, I'll start the recycle pump, start the irrigator. We've still got the lambs that we drenched out in the yards, just letting them empty out overnight, so I'll go and let them out and put them on a fresh paddock, and then yeah, see how we're going. Tony should be here by then. We can, once we get the irrigators going, he'll be here. And then yeah, he can get spraying. We've got a couple 100 hectares of fallow spraying like our own, just the stubbles after the rain to spray, so I want to try and get them done. Yeah, and then back onto the hay cutting job. So hopefully Brendan will be here late morning. He can hop on our mower. I do have a skid there on it that's worn out, so I need to fix one of the skids on it first. And I might take the windrower around the other farm and start and get cutting around there. Yeah, so it's not going to be down long. We'll probably start and rake it in the morning. Yeah, just with the warmer weather, it doesn't, and they're not big windrows. It'll dry out pretty quick. So yeah, it'll be good. It's going to make good stuff anyway. So anyway, we'll go and start this recycle pump and then get this irrigator going. So about a dozen pumps on the hand pump, a primer, and it's fired up. So the a fair bend in that pipe. I don't know. Did that on a 45-degree day. I don't know how it's going to go. Like, look at this. It's not doing that much good. Yeah, it's not going to survive anyway. So there we go. So this stuff's marching along pretty well. So it's grown even since when Miranda and I looked at it on Monday. What are we up to? Thursday, Tuesday, Monday. Anyway, but yeah, it's getting up. We'll give it a drink now, and then probably just see how we go after this hot day. What happens with this volunteer canola? We'll probably end up spraying it. But yeah, we'll give it. Put 25 mil on it now, and then we will probably start and top dress it next week. I would have thought. So whether we water it again towards the end of next week, but we'll put a bit of fertiliser out on it. So there's a roughly 400 to 500 kilos of urea to go on it yet. So yeah, there's a bit. So we'll do that. We'll do that in a couple of passes. But what we will do is I'll just spread one half and then run the irrigator around, and then do the other. Well, spread half at a time so we don't have those nitrogen losses, rather than doing it all at once, and then it takes 24 hours for the. We only put 14 mil on it. It still takes 24 hours for the irrigator to do its circle. Anyway, it's all sort of going to plan. Sort of. So we've got the sheep sorted out, or lambs back in new paddock. They were a bit feral. They didn't quite want to go when they wanted to go. We've had a balls up out there. We've had a gate come open. And the new ewes, young ewes have got boxed with an old mob of old ewes, and yeah, so of course rams aren't where rams are supposed to be, so we'll have to run them in at some stage and have a draft up, which is a pain in the bum. But anyway, I don't know. We're sort of under the pump a little bit with hay, and well, not under the pump, but early mornings while it's cool are sort of getting consumed the next couple of days with raking hay and spraying and that sort of stuff. I've just given the windrower, washed the radiators out in the windrower, and the oil coolers and that last time we were using it. The last paddock we did had a bit of that powdery mildew in it again, so everything was sort of getting blocked up. So I've just given them a good wash out. I've taken the front out the other farm when I went out there this morning. Brendan's not back here yet, but what we've got here is one of the skids has died on us. So what I'm going to do is, I do actually have some stainless steel ones at home. They are a bit different. I'll just see what we do here. We might have to either patch this one up, or we'll just see. We might be able to adapt the new one. The mounts are slightly different, although those skids are for the Macdon. Obviously the Macdon mower is different to the Macdon front. So anyway, we'll get this off and get it home, and we'll see what we can work out. But we do have one of the mounts in there is cracked too, which isn't ideal. I do have a set of rollers there that go on this. They're just a steel roller with a bearing in either end rather than the skid, but we found from memory when we used them that they, with a bit of moisture in the ground, they'd build up and stop spinning. So whether we try them, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get this fella off and take him home and see what we can work out. I feel I finally found these things. That, like most things, get put in a safe spot and you got no idea where they end up. So they've been put up on the shelf up on the pellet racking right up the top where you couldn't see them. So yeah, they've just got a roller. Now you can see the crap built up on there. That's the only issue with them. So we'll give them a try if we can get this patch finished anyway. And then yeah, we can look at rebuilding the other ones in due course. So, but yeah, just to keep us going and get them finished. They are heavy bloody things, but you can grease them. So we'll get them on, and we'll try and get them on anyway, and yeah, give them a grease and see how we go. Tony's he's got one load out. He's just reloaded. He's just having a bit of lunch, and then he'll go again. So and that'll be all the maxes. The new block will be sprayed then. So I'll get these on and then duck home and have a bit of lunch, and yeah, by then hopefully Brendan might be here and he can help on this thing. We'll get a cameraman so you guys get to see what's going on. So, anyway, so what we've done is we've closed we can move the deck across. So we've just done the bolt here and the whole lot slides that way. I was actually trying to bring the other end this way, but just with the hoses, it's not, yeah, they're seeing there, sort of a little bit tight. Anyway, so what I found is one of the deck hangers is, whether it's broken or what, there's a little track here that it hangs in. I'll get it in the right spot. So what I've done, I've just got a ratchet strap and tied that end up, so hopefully it'll be alright. Just have to keep an eye on it. So yeah, we'll bring the whole lot to one end, and then we'll put 2 rows side by side, and then the plan is we'll just rake them together with the rake. Anyway, it's probably, just saying to Brendan when we were shifting gear around before, we're only just probably, like, we've got a bit of flour ideally. I'm not actually sure what the, canolas, whatever it is, what do we work on? 70% colour change with seed. There would be, the Lucent growers would say X amount of flour, so there's probably only 5%. There's a bit more up on the ridge there, but probably not as much down the bottom here. But my concern is with the 40, I think they're talking 42 or 45 or something stupid on Monday. So my concern is it'll go from one to the other really quickly, and I'm hoping we can, if we get it on the ground, because we're not conditioning it, having that hot day on it'll help dry it out. So fingers crossed everything works here. Should do. We've got a couple of draper mats that are a bit ordinary. I don't know what's gone on, they haven't worn very well, whether they've been rubbing on something, I don't know, but over here we've got the fiberglass strips are shown. We've done 4,000 acres, it's probably not quite good enough. Anyway, we'll get rolling and see how we go. Going not too badly. Probably should have changed the knife guards. Good get thinking about it afterwards, but anyway, it is cutting it off, and I'm not too concerned that we're leaving a little bit behind. I've sort of got it, we're right down on the ground hard. Machine's running a little bit hotter than I'd like it to. I don't know what's going on. We did watch the radiators out, but not too sure what the go is. It's up a little bit. It's keeping an eye on it, but we're still doing that sort of 8.5, 9 hectares an hour, so there'll be about 40 hectares that we'll do roughly. Yeah, but it's some spots there's quite a lot, and other spots there's not much, so it is what it is. It's just an opportune thing. So, yeah, we just don't physically have the mouths to eat it, and the ewes don't need to be eating this sort of stuff this time of year, because all I do is get fat. So anyway, the phone's ringing. So I've actually just knocked off and been home and forgot the camera, but I'd left it in the windrow. Anyway, I spoke to our MacDon man, Chris at Earthy Ag, and just about it getting hot, and he sort of said because the engine's getting hot as well, it's something beyond the coolers. So what we've sort of diagnosed is, because I can turn that fan and it sort of doesn't look like it wants to, turn the motor over, our belt's buggered. So yeah, what I'll do, should be able to get one of them locally. So I'll try and get a belt in the morning, and hopefully that'll save the overheating problem. So I've done about 11 hectares, so I think, as I said, we'll do about 40, I reckon. So it's not going to take long to do the rest of it, but it's going to be pretty good stuff. Comes off the deck a bit lumpy, is probably the only thing, but yeah, that should dry out all right. We'll give it let these few hot days go through, and then just bring those 2 rows together, and yeah, shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna go home now. Just got to change the water, and then yeah, chuck the rake on the little tractor for the morning. Just got the water set up. I'll just show you here. I'm just having a look at this hay that we cut. So it's not super heavy, but it was getting too long for the lambs. So basically what we look at, or what I look at anyway, someone will probably tell me different. Like this has been cut, what are we up to, a couple of days ago, I suppose, this early stuff, and just look at how dry it breaks up. Yeah, so the leaf just crushes up to dust effectively. So this is right to rake, so I'll get up probably, I don't know, I'm thinking about 3 AM and we'll come down and get into this. I'm going to go and have a look at the stuff that I cut yesterday. I reckon, well, if it's, so how we go, I should get this raked. We'll just pull 2 rows together. It'll be really good to have a big rake and pull 3 rows together, but yeah. Anyway, we've done a tyre on the mower, so Brendan's got it fixed, but we haven't finished over there. He wouldn't have been finished otherwise, so there's always something. I'll go and have a look at this other paddock, and yeah, but it'll be pretty close to, I think. So, and then it'll just be a case of getting some dew, with it being so hot going forward in the next few days, getting some dew to get in the bale. So, but we need to get that finish cutting that to get the baler on the tractor. This stuff's going to go as well, so we'll just see how we go. There'll be roughly 30 hectares to get raked, or to rake now. So fingers crossed we can get this stuff done, and then yeah, see what happens when we get in the bale. But so yeah, tomorrow's I need to run some those ewes in that are boxed up together and bloody sort them up. That's yeah. In the bum, but anyway, it happens unfortunately. I get a decent bit of chain rather than a crappy bit of wire for the gates. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go and get this rake on and give it a grease, and that'll about do. This is our hay rake. We do have another 8-wheel disc rake that we don't actually use that often, but anyway. So yeah, good little rake this one. We can move the rotors out wider or closer. I think it's about in the middle there at the moment, so we'll just see how it looks like in the morning. Got a Bisquillion grease nipples on it, so yeah, by the time we do all the PDO yokes, and then you can see the grease around here on the brakes, the brusher things. Yeah, so there's a bit of grease on it, but it works really well. Soft on the material, and you can adjust the you adjust the little triaxle wheels up and down to whether it's raking the ground or yeah, just off the ground. So I'll set it up once we get going in the morning. Got a little Fendt on it. Yeah, so should be happy days. Starting to feel a lot like summer. It's yeah, warming up. Anyway, I might slap some grease on this, go and fuel the pump up and knock off. So we'll leave this one here and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.